kept your faith in the very flawed parliamentary system? Why do you believe in reform in that sense, peaceful reform and change?
Well, una, yung mga naka-influence sa akin in college ay mga religious leaders. Halimbawa, yung una kong na-meet ay si Father Romeo Intengan, who eventually became the head of the Jesuits in the country. Na-meet ko rin si a young priest noon, si Father Chito Tagle, na ngayon ay number 3 highest official ng Vatican, si Cardinal Chito Tagle. I used to hide dun sa kanyang tahanan ng mabuting pastol. Siya yung rector noon, a young rector, a young priest. Siya yung nagbigay sa akin ng seminar, my first seminar on fascism, the national security ideology. I was very young then, mga 18, 19. Si Father Romeo Intengan, na-meet ko when I was 16, 17. So, nagsimula ako na based on a very progressive, liberative faith. Yung aking mga unang seminar has nothing to do with yung mga si Hegel at si Marx, no? Liberation theology na nung panahon kasi na yan, meron ding mga bagong dynamic sa Catholic Church, lalong-lalo na sa Latin America. So, doon ako nagsimula.
So nested in progress. So essentially, yung it's a progressive Catholicism, not too dissimilar from our current Pope, right? Pope Francis.
Yes,
From his very
progressive Christianity, no? A progressive Christianity, no? Na yan yung mga una ko nabasa. Sila Gustavo Gutierrez, no? Yan yung mga nag-shape sa akin nung simula. Ikalawa, dahil nangyari yung yan yung panahon na very strong yung communist movement at very strong yung dictatorship, naghanap ka ng alternative. There must be something better than fascism and communism. Kaya doon kami naghanap ng alternative at nadiskubre namin yung democratic socialism. Of course, nadiskubre namin yan sa Europe, pero eventually ay ginawa namin mas a Philippine version ng democratic socialism. Kaya kahit relatively maliit kami kumpara doon sa mga ibang leftist organizations, ay we wanted to plant the seeds of an alternative that something better than communism or fascism, yung tingin namin yung kinakailangang masimulan dito sa ating bansa, especially during those heyday ng late 70s at saka early 80s.
I mean, in many ways, you were also kind of a Hegelian negation of negation. You were an alternative also to the alternative, right? You were a different form of progressive alternative from the Makabayan bloc or other blocks here. Just to be clear, I'm not making judgments because we had other folks here from that side, including Ma'am Franz Castro. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the fantastic discussion we're having. So I'm not here to throw shades or anything. I'm just trying to help people distinguish different groups because you're not the same, right? And each of you brings something different to the table.
In a way, actually, ang mga una kong mga naka-influence sa akin is more si Gramsci, no? Si Gramsci, yung kanyang prison notebooks, nabasa ko nung college, no? So naka-influence sa akin ng malalim yung mga ideas at saka yung mga
Western Marxism, cultural Marxism.
Yes, in a way yung Frankfurt School, no? Sila Marcuse, no?
Oppenheimer, and all of that. Yeah, the whole
Horkheimer, no? Yeah. Yun yung mga nakakuha sa akin. Na naghahanap ng a more democratic alternative than yung dominant leftist ideology ng panahon na yun.
And a focus on culture, influence of culture, patterns of capitalist reproduction, influence of Hollywood, things like that, right? That's what the Frankfurt School was very good, especially when they were exiled.
In a way, anti-dogmatism. Anti-dogmatism ng traditional left, no? Siyempre, hindi naman perfecto yung mga ideologues na yan. Pero ang common sa kanila ay yung anti-dogmatism. No? A more open political discourse, a more open leftist politics.
I'm glad we're having this discussion because I think people have to understand where we're coming from. No, I mean that there's a lot going in the background before we arrive at things that we're doing right now. Now let's talk about Percy, Ronald. Can we talk about Percy and what the new congressman is bringing to the table?
Well, si Percy ay na-recruit namin nung siya ay nasa college pa. Siya yung unang openly gay
Ateneo,
president
Ateneo, right?
UP. Siya yung
nga pala,
first
UP. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
siya yung first openly gay president ng UP Student Council, no? Kaya alam mo naman ang UP, 'di ba? Very dominant diyan ang leftist politics, no? Pero at the time, yung leftist politics ay nahahaluan na ng mga identity issues. At very defining yung pagiging presidente niya ng UP Student Council as the first openly gay student leader at that time. Dahil hindi masyadong napag-uusapan yan eh. Masyadong dominant ang usapin ng class, masyadong dominant yung usapin ng imperialism, no? Masyadong dominant yung usapin ng economic determinism. Pero during that time ay nasisimula na rin yung sabi mo nga, yung discourse about culture ay yung discourse about identity, yung discourse about gender.
Which
Kaya
kind of anticipated our era of identity-based politics, right?
yes. So
We're ahead of the curve.
clearly, Percy nung siya estudyante ay progressive. Clearly, nung na-recruit namin siya ay naging socialist. Pero also very clear na kasama sa kanyang ideology ay yung identity issues, yung gender issues, no? Kaya mismo within our circles, mismo within sa akbayan ay naging healthy contribution doon sa ideological formulation yung gender politics, yung identity issues, no?
Right.
At si Percy in a way represented that tendency, yung bagong element na yon doon sa mga traditional discourse namin nila Randy, nila Dodong Nemenso, nila Walden Bello,
The
no?
class.
Nakadagdag yon. At tingin ko na-enrich niya yung ideological formulation ng akbayan at yung bigger progressive movement na kinakatawan ng akbayan.
But Percy will just have what, 6-7 months in the
8
Congress?
months.
8
8 months.
So hindi na siya
At kung,
tatakbo.
at kung sakaling manalo ng 2 seat ang akbayan, ay pwede siyang magkaroon ng second term, no?
Second nominee
Pero
ba siya?
mahalaga dahil first time kami natalo sa aming more than 25 years na history, first time namin natalo noong 2019, yung height ng Duterte government.
Right, which was the lowest for the rest of us.
Yes, so meron kami mga close calls nung panahon ni Arroyo, no? Pero yung pinaka nanganib ang akbayan was during the time of Duterte. Dahil hindi lang siya usapin ng harassment. Hindi lang siya usapin ng extrajudicial killings. Usapin siya na 93% ng ating population we're supporting Duterte. So ang hirap mag-organize, ang daling ma-demonize dahil nga sobrang overwhelming
Yung fear factor. I
Yeah.
had Wataru-san here who did on-the-ground research, nag-embed siya sa communities in Visayas region, in Ilocos, in Manila, and he said daming takot yung time na yan. There was really a climate of fear.
Yeah, it's a combination of fear and at the same time yung popularity ni Digong, the Duterte brand, was very dominant. So hirap mag-organize because of fear, pero at the same time hirap mag-organize at saka mag-recruit
So
dahil
walang
nga dun sa
receptiveness.
support ni Digong. Sabi nga namin nun, kung isasama mo yung margin of error, halos 3%
Zero.
lamang yung
Baka negative.
yung ayaw kay Digong, no? So that was the
But
first
now-
time we lost.
But Ronald, now
2019.
2024 is 0.6%. So I'm just saying it's a huge improvement from 0 or negative 3. You have made a huge improvement, my friend. You have made a huge improvement. That's a big jump from negative to
Siguro
0.6.
yun yung isang aspeto ng aking personality. Bagaman binuo yung akbayan, binuo yung electoral movement, ay ako bilang, as a person, tingin ko hindi ko linya yon. I would rather be a campaign manager, I would rather be an organizer
A
ng
vlogger,
electoral struggle rather than
a lover,
rather
Ronald, a lover.
rather than be a candidate, 'no? Kaya huwag kayong
But
maniwala diyan
but
sa mga
but
sinasabi ng mga mambubudol,
but
no?
Ronald, let me say to our audience now, especially on Twitter among others, because I saw some clamor kahapon. Huwag kayong mag-alala, kunyari lang sinasabi ni Ronald, sa 2028, we're gonna launch something. So don't worry about it. May mga niluluto pa kami. Now, since naka-crocodile ako dito sa shirt ko ngayon, even though it's a pink shirt, um, pag-usapan natin yung mga hearings ngayon sa Congress and all. Yung Quadcom is going crazy, isn't it? Medyo grabe
Yes.
level of revelations and all. Medyo insane, no?
Oo, grabe 'no, grabe na nga yung, sinabi ni Espinido, yung poster boy ng, podcast, a couple of months ago, 'di ba? Na totoo pala itong, quota para sa extrajudicial killings. Totoo pala yung ugnayan ng pogo, ng drugs with EJK, 'no? Totoo pala itong mga, criminal elements within the Philippine National Police. Sabi nga niya, the biggest criminal organization is the Philippine National Police, no? Hindi mo aasahan 'yan during the time of Duterte dahil ito sa Espinido ay poster boy nung Tokhang. Pero ito, no, ah, I cannot imagine anyone calling the Philippine National Police noon or ngayon as the biggest criminal organization, no? Pero hindi pa natapos do'n. Lumabas pa itong mga bagong testimony tungkol dun sa mga pinapatay ni President Duterte sa loob mismo ng kulungan, sa loob mismo ng penal colony. At nagpasalamat pa daw yung presidente doon sa mga nag-implement na yun at ang ginamit na salita ay ginawang dinuguan, no? Ginawang dinuguan, no? At since then, ang dami pang lumabas, no? Katulad dito, no, yung killing ng isang police general na board member ng PCSO. Nakita ko pa yung video noon eh. Nung nangyari yun, more than 2 years ago. Nakita ko pa yung pagpatay sa kanya eh. Tapos ngayon, yung mga pumatay, yung mga nagpapatay, ay umaamin ngayon in a quad hearing. So mukhang nagsisimula pa lamang itong mga expose na ito dahil sa libo-libong napatay, tingin ko marami pang ibang tetestigo, no? Pero
And tuloy-tuloy yan after di ba, hearings can continue even if mag-break yung Congress, di ba? There was
yes,
so
yes.
tuloy-tuloy ito for the weeks to come. So yung mga
Halimbawa, kahapon may lumabas si Montalban, may sinulat siya tungkol dun sa testimony ni Las Cañas na hawak ngayon ng International Criminal Court as a witness na ito si Garma, ito pala yung ito daw yung head ng hit squad ni Bongo, no? Ni Bongo, no? So hindi lang si Bato ang nai-implicate dito. Hindi lamang itong mga
Bongo, si Polong,
former
ano,
PNP chief, no? Talagang si Bongo na akala mo ay hindi makabasag pinggan, no? Ay meron din palang sariling hit squad. At itong Garma ay yung head ng hit squad na yon. At least according to Las Cañas, no?
yeah. But
So
Ronald, a part
hindi
of me
hindi
is saying,
dito
yeah.
matatapos dito sa mga hearings na ito.
Which in a way, diba, makes it even easier for the ICC to come in with more legitimacy, right? When you have an administration who earlier said walang jurisdiction ng ICC, and then now the same administration or friends of the same administration are exposing all of these kababalakan, lahat ng budul games, lahat ng EJKs. Once the ICC warrant comes up, by that time, the legitimacy is settled, diba? Kasi sabi niya, we have proven with our own institutions that talagang grabe yung ginawa ng mga tao. So, don't be surprised if we allow ICC to issue the red notice or if will be open. Diba? Parang it makes sense, diba? Na just
Yes.
lay out, as you say, lay down the predicate, made it absolutely clear, once it's bulldozered and clear na walang bahit na duda na itong mga Duterte sa mga Budul Kings, itong mga Duterte sa nag-oversee na lahat ng mga krimen na yan, then it perfectly makes sense, logically, legally, and politically, for BBM to say, pwede na yan,
Yes.
kadahit na yan sa
Pero
ICC.
two-edged to eh. Two-edged to,
Absolutely, of
Richard,
course.
dahil in one sense ay yung mga matagal ng sinasabi ng ICC ay nadja-justify, no, na talagang this is state organized crimes against humanity, no? Itong nangyayari dito sa ICC. Pero at the same time, pwede kasing sabihin ng iba, dahil lumalabas na ito ngayon within our legislature, within our judicial system, may mga kaso ng isasampa. The other day, sabi na ni Congressman Pimentel, isampa na kagad yan sa mga korte. Pwedeng sabihin ng mga Duterte, hindi na kailangan ng ICC. Gumagana naman ang ating justice system. So, pwede nilang gamitin yan, no?
Actually, I saw
Pero
that. But
I
let's
doubt if
still
it
the
will hold
ICC issue
water.
that, diba? Let's still the ICC issue the red notice. Use that as a Damocles sword, but still insisted. It's like the Kiboloy case, right? The extradition. You essentially, Marcos is saying it's a matter of time. The extradition request is there, but parang we'll take a first crack at him, and then we'll see if we'll give it to you guys. So baka ganun din ang mangyari, diba? Na-expose namin, na-investigate namin, ICC is also here. So double whammy nila ang mga Dutertes. The only way I can see this,
Sana.
diba? Sana,
Sana
diba? You
ganun
can see.
mangyari.
Exactly, diba? But the only way I can see this as kind of creating a kind of a backlash or something is if magaling magpaawa effect. And speaking of paawa effect, I think if you're Bato right now, you're gonna pull out all your Bato School of Dramatics tricks right now, right? Kasi alanganin ka sa surveys. Not so much Bongo, but Bato is alanganin. Pulong and Basta are not even within the range. Digong probably is too old to even run for Senate. Let's talk about the desperate situation of these DDS people.
Yes, halimbawa itong mga latest survey, si Bato is number 12, si Digong is number 11, no? So, kung ikaw ay opposition, wala ka sa
7 to 11. So
administration.
actually marami siyang katay, hindi siya sigurado sa top 12.
Pero delikado yan, delikado yan dahil for a long time si Digong nasa top 3, top 4, di ba? Ngayon ay nandoon siya sa last 2, di ba? Significant yan, no? Lalo na yung kanilang political base ay medyo naubos na at mismo si Sara, yung kanilang ngayon, standard bearer ay bumababa rin dramatically, no? Ang kwan ko lang ngayon, ang concern ko lang ay yung Senado, may mga bad signals na lumalabas. Halimbawa, itong pagkatay sa budget ni Sara sa House, sa Senate, iba yung position halimbawa ng mga katulad ni Jinggoy. Si Jinggoy ba majority floor leader sa Senate, no? Tapos si Joel Villanueva, no? Ang mga statements nila ay balak nilang ibalik yung tinanggal na budget ng House, no? Tapos may mga ilang senador nagsasabi na teka, palakasin niyo muna yung kaso for impeachment bago niyo ibigay sa amin. So may mga ganung mga ibang mga
But Rod, that's what I was
statements.
saying, di ba? Doon sa show ni Patrick, sabi ko, marami dyan sa Senado na maggaganon sila. Di ba? Di ba
Yes.
we're talking about whether it's number 8. And then I said, okay, sa graceful, maybe I will accept your version. But my version is you have enough of Villanueva and Jingois and all who want to play both sides, who you cannot rely on to give you the votes, 17, 16 votes to get the impeachment through. So, look at it. This is what I've been saying, Ronald. May mga ganun type eh.
Yes.
Tinulungan
halimbawa,
ng admin, pero ngayon nagsisave sa mga Duterte.
Pero ako hindi ako masyadong concerned kay Jinggoy. Yan din yung position niya nung corona impeachment eh. No, ang
Eventually
sabi niya,
pumaligtad.
he won't vote for conviction. Pero eventually he voted for conviction. So some of the senators, no, hine-hedge nila yung kanilang position
That's
to
my point.
negotiate terms, no. Alam mo naman, 'di ba? Magne-negotiate sila eh.
Because,
Tapos yung mga re-electionists na halos lahat ay kasama sa administration slate, no? Syempre naghahanap yan ng dagdag na budget, no, sa kampanya, no. So
what about Mig Zubiri, who's from Mindanao? Shouldn't you be a little bit careful about babanggaan mo yung mga Duterte, considering you're Mindanao based?
yes, pero ang boto mo kasi is nationwide eh. Yung boto ng mga senador ay nationwide. Pero si Migs is not a re-electionist, no? So yung mga re-electionist na 7, na 2 ay manggagaling dun sa PDP, 5 ay nasa admin slate, no? At least yung kanilang mga successor katulad ng Villar nasa admin slate, no? Ay magka-calculate 'yan. Ilan bang boto ang mawawala sa kanila kung iko-convict nila si Sara? 'Di ba? Yun yung kina-calculate nila. Bina-balance nila yan, eh. Ilan naman ang maidadagdag ng administration in terms of resources at saka votes at saka machinery kung sila ay susunod sa impeachment. So,
Ronald, parang alam na alam mo yan. Yan siguro ginawa niyo nung panahon yan. I think
wala
everyone's
akong
talking about the
kinalaman
Corona
dun, wala akong
impeachment as we
kinalaman
speak.
dun.
Everyone's talking about the Corona impeachment as we talk now. So I'm just
Eh,
saying, maybe Ronald knows a thing or two. Wala akong alam. Wala kami sinasabi.
yeah.
Now, speaking of Migs, let's talk about Migs Nograles. So kanina doon sa hearing ni Migs Nograles, na-booking itong, or at least, itong allegations by this Chinese spy tycoon caught in, I think, is it in Thailand or Malaysia, who said na siya mismo ang nag-alaga doon sa case ni Alice Go. Therefore, the implication is Alice Go could be, after all, some sort of a spy or auxiliary of the Chinese intelligence services. What is your read of that? Nagwala si Alice Go doon, napikon talaga siya doon. I could see, immediately she went into like, ayoko nang. So, what do you think is going on? Maybe after all, she is indeed a spy.
Ah, yes, may gano'n naman from the start naman, may gano'ng klaseng mga claims, may gano'ng klaseng possibility, 'no?
Pero walang
Ah,
ganyan testimony from another one who's
pero
caught.
walang
Yun
ganyang
nga, ito may
testimony.
testimony ng ibang Chinese ano eh,
Mas
oo.
kwan yun, eh, mas yung dati suspicions dahil, she was hiding in plain sight, tapos, meron siyang enough resources, may enough wherewithal, 'no, para maging mayor, 'no, maging mayor at maging, patron ng napakalaking Pogo Hub, 'no? So may gano'n naman talagang possibility. Pero ako kasi hindi pa sa akin decisive itong kuwan na ito, itong Al Jazeera article na ito, eh, na pinanggalingan nitong mga claims na ito, eh. Hindi ko pa sigurado itong alleged spy, 'no, kung, paano lahat
Si
diyan
Xie
mga alleged,
Zhejiang. So
eh,
you're saying he's not a reliable witness? But
lahat
why
yan
would
ay
you say this?
lahat yan ay alleged pa lang, eh. Ang sigurado ko kasi na spy, yung, lumabas sa Rappler. Yun sigurado ko yun. Pero yun, hindi
At
mo
lumabas na
hindi
ng bansa. At lumabas na rin ng bansa.
tsaka yun, kahit not a single word. Yung mga real spies, hindi nagpapa-interview, eh. No, no.
Ito tycoon naman kasi, so nagdadoble
Oo.
cara. Siguro auxiliary din to. So puro silang siguro auxiliary. You know?
Iba kasi yung spy, iba yung assets.
Yeah. That's
Halimbawa,
why I use the word
ibig sabihin
assets.
kahit yung mga triads na kalaban ng Chinese government can become assets, 'no?
Sicario, essentially. So,
Iba yun, 'no?
intelligence asset. Okay, sorry. Let me
Oo,
be
iba yun, 'no?
intelligence asset rather than spy. That's
Yes,
very likely. Yeah.
iba yun. Halimbawa, nung lumabas ng bansa si Alice Guo, kung siya ay talagang spy, bumalik na siya ng China. Dahil mas safe siya ron, eh, 'no? Mas safe siya ron. Kung siya ay triad, magdadalawang isip siya. Because triads disappear in China, 'no? Nawawala. They can be assets, but they are also
Vulnerable. Yeah.
kalaban ng estado, 'no?
They're
Kalaban sila ng estado. Halimbawa, some corrupt Communist Party officials may use triads to launder their money out, labas ng China. So,
It's a love-hate
magkaiba 'yun.
relationship. It's a
Yes, magkaiba 'yun.
multifarious
Kaya
relationship.
kaya ang tingin ko rito, not necessarily black and white, 'no?
Yeah, shades of gray,
Ah,
shades of gray. Speaking
oo.
of that, shades of gray, let's have our interesting Nasaan na si Harry Ronald? Parang tagal niya na wala. Paano siya nakatago? Nasa Pilipinas kaya or baka nag-Indonesia rin? I mean, if you're Harry Roque, where will you hide? In plain
If you
sight,
have
in Bali, in ano where?
if you have money, you can do almost anything. Huwag mong kalimutan, nagbigay siya ng 37 million sa campaign ni Sara. Ibig sabihin, mahaba ang kanyang pise. Mahaba niyang kanyang pise.
Yung account pa lang ni Mr. Chua, di ba?
At kung siya ay allegedly connected, dito sa mga Pogo, which are basically triads, 'no, ay, meron kang network na puwedeng pagtaguan, 'no? Halimbawa, yung mga principal dito sa Pogos hindi naman nahuhuli. Ang nahuli yung mga inutusang bumili ng suka, eh. Yung mga Cassandra Ong, yung mga Alice Goo, 'no, yung mga batang mga babae.
O
Pero
suka
yung
para
mga
milyon-milyon ang kinikita.
pero yung mga kuwan talaga, at least si Tony, Tony Yang, yan big time yan. Yung kapatid ni Michael Yang, yan big time yan. Pero most of yung mga kuwan talaga, yung leaders ng syndicate, hindi na nakita.
Oh.